Hi, I'm Armand, and this video explores another appalling lie the BC Health Authority told to disempower me. Demonizing people is a standard disempowerment technique used globally by abusive authority because it works. My health employer used this demeaning technique to portray me as a happily unemployed man who refused to re-educate or retrain. When your employer writes lies about you to an insurer, their intention is not okay for you, and their actions expose the values and beliefs they hold about you. Influential people in positions of authority over you commit insurer fraud because their ethics and values support their belief that they are entitled to treat you this way. Here's another example of professional health authority opportunists working to rob me of my disability benefits. Remember my Claims Review Committee award for long-term disability benefits? The chairman of this first Claims Review Committee also wrote an addendum to his report which upset my employer so much that they felt compelled to write to the insurer to protest the chairman's conclusions about me. However, their protest was just a ruse to introduce more lies about me into the insurance records. This form of disempowerment is a favored standard practice in the industry. Lies provide the basis of all insurance fraud. When your employer colludes with lies, that's insurer fraud. Here's what happened. In preparation for my medical disability trial, I prepared my supportive evidence and took it with me to show the tribunal of judges. My Claims Review Committee hearing was to determine if I was permanently disabled and deserving of long-term disability benefits. The committee examined all areas of my life, including my efforts to rehabilitate. When the chairman asked me about my retraining efforts, I showed him receipts from the trade school I was attending to learn computer science. I advised the board that I had submitted my receipts to the plan for reimbursement, but that the scheme would not pay. I produced a letter from their system to me stating, the plan was intended to provide for wage loss replacement only. Because the insurance scheme refused to pay for my retraining, the chairman of my Claims Review Committee wrote an addendum to the court award which noted the apparent lack of any attempt during the past period of moving towards suitable occupational rehabilitation. My employer took exception to this judge's opinion of the evidence and wrote this in response. Considerable effort, which represented many hours of counseling by the personnel and employee health departments, proved to be unsuccessful in respect to seeking alternatives for Mr. Armand and moving him to seek alternatives for himself. Although it is recognized these efforts were unsuccessful, it should be noted they were made nevertheless. At the time my health authority wrote this letter to the insurer, they had in their possession evidence showing that I was actively retraining at my expense. I gave the evidence to the manager of personnel services long before my Claims Review Committee hearing. The manager wrote me to acknowledge and confirm that I was retraining and taking courses on computers at a local college and wished me luck. My local health authority employer knowingly wrote lies about me to a disability plan administrator. Will your company write lies about you when you are permanently disabled while working for them? BC is hostile and aggressive to disabled workers. Denying the reality of abused and the impoverished is a specialty, and human rights violations are commonplace in BC. It's always been this way, and big business likes it. There is no democracy when powerful, influential people falsify records and pervert your reality to avoid their contractual insurer obligations. Bad faith insurance practices are against the law in Canada, but BC regulatory officials support disability insurance providers who behave this way. Why is that? In a future video, I will explore my understandings with you. In my next video, we'll look at another important aspect of my experience with insurer fraud and the professionals who support it in BC. I hope you see the value in what I'm doing to help you understand the hidden dangers inside your workplace. Struggling with my disability issues inside a society that refuses to honor fundamental human rights to a fair, competent medical assessment made me gravely ill. I became bedridden with crippling systemic pain throughout my body. I lost 60 pounds and nearly died from the stress caused by dealing with the hostility that is BC. The BC healthcare system had no solutions for me, so I became vegan in June 2014 to save my life. I'm still coping with chronic fatigue, but I can now work from my bed for a few hours each day, producing relevant, informed content about disability insurer fraud and who supports it in BC. If you can afford to support me with a small donation to help me heal from disability insurer fraud and avoid losing my home, I'll be grateful forever. Think in terms of buying me lunch. You know, a vegan smoothie here or a rice bowl there. Please donate from the link at the bottom of this video description or my banners. And bless you for your kindness and desire to live a life of awareness and accountability.